So the task that I've been given is reasonably cosmetic. You can see that there is a capping beam over the top of the columns and a retaining wall. The retaining wall at the moment is still standing up, so the engineer suggested that we'll just fill this gap. So if you have a look what I've done, I'm just forming up to pour concrete down through the gap. So you can see somewhere I don't need to support it. I've used galvanized iron as the support, and you will see as we go down varies in thickness. So the engineer suggested that you could do this if you want to, but everything kind of looks okay. The reason that we're in this position is that a few months ago there was the water came up over the top of this capping beam, so the concern was that it was undermining the footings, but so far the wall is sitting as it is, so there doesn't appear to be any problems with it. But after I swept off the ages of debris, you can see that there's a crack through there on this capping beam. When you have a look at, and we'll go down below, when you have a look underneath that capping beam, you're going to see that there was a whole lot of washout. So first of all, you just have a look underneath here. You can see that there's the galvanized Colorbond tin that I'm using as my support, and I put timber through just to make sure that the bottom doesn't blow out when the concrete goes in, because of course that's reasonably heavy. Same thing there, I've still got the timber to put through there. Now this is an interesting point, because you can see here that whilst it all looks messy, you've got a pylon there, so no problem with those. But what's happened is the water has washed away, and you start to see underneath the footings for the wall, for the retaining wall. So that in itself could be a problem if we had more rain, more water come down, if the river rose again. You can see this capping beam is cracked through there, and then here there is actually a split, and the only thing that is holding that together, as you can see, this little bit of concrete here. If that wasn't there, that whole beam would just fall. Still not that big a problem, but if we got another washout and the water undermined further, you can see how far it's gone in, bearing in mind that these piers at one stage were the ground level was up the top there, so all of this was set just straight on the ground, so all of that is washed away. So we're okay for now, but what you are going to find possibly is at a later stage, if we got another washout like we had, if the river rose, here's the river at the moment, you can see it's down there, so it's not a problem 99% of the time. Apparently this was the first time in 20 years that the river has risen like it did, but if it did again, you can see that it's washing out underneath the footings for the retaining wall. If you had another washout, you could have problems. Over here you can see that the washout really didn't affect it that much, because there's another column there, but because it was a solid piece of concrete, the water didn't get in. There's a little bit of a washout under there, but not a problem. Here, of course, is where the potential problem lies, so maybe that needs to be addressed at another stage, but for now I'm just filling the hole.